Hello and welcome to today's session. Thank you for joining. Just looking at the pivot points today. You can see them on the screen over in the MT5. We've got some triple banding, but we're actually opening just outside of that extreme gap there, this line here, the previous day's high. Look, I think that should close, but we're not really in a position to make a trade out of it, really. I guess we're about 20 points away, but the risk is that we go all the way up to the R2. That's not something that I really want to take in terms of a risk. So, look, if we come down and hit this and we start to reject, I might even look to buy. If we start to see aggressive buying, I might look to buy. If we get all the way up to the R2, I'll be looking for sell opportunities. And if we break below this level and perhaps this structure here, then I'll be looking to probably short down to the yearly R2 and that close gap there, as per that shorts that says the today's pre-market analysis. Hi Christopher, thank you for joining. How was the Comic-Con event? I saw your costume. It looked very cool, very well done. I'm sure you got a lot of attention on the day. So what have we got? 3 minutes. So I basically went over all the analysis. Look, I think it's going to be somewhat bullish, but if we can come down and close that gap first, it'll be an excellent opportunity to start looking for potential longs. But we'll have to wait and see what the market gives us. So obviously the pre-market analysis is just a summary of what I'm looking for if the market moves the way I want it to. So it's not necessarily saying, look, this is a trade advice or trade plan or anything like that. It's basically just planning out what might happen, and then we look for the opportunities at that time. So because the market's quite unpredictable, when it gets to the location where you want it to trade, that's when you start really diving deep and saying, right, is this the price where we want to get involved? All right, quantity of DAX. I've got the full DAX contracts up here. I've got a 300k account with Apex. Unfortunately, rightio, I thought it was this weekend. Unfortunately, I was over trading on Friday. So I made some money and then I continued to trade even though there was no real trade set up. I was going off a hunch and basically wrecked the challenge. So over trading there, it's not wise at all. We've got 20 contracts here as a limit order. We've got 45 seconds till open. That's disappeared. So there's a bit of spoofing going on down lower, or did that get filled? It might have got filled. So that was probably a buy limit because it was sitting there. Which makes me think the market may go up before it comes down and touches this previous day's high. But we should collect it very quickly, I would say. It should kind of bop down, clip it, and then we'll see what it does from there. So we'll wait and see for the open. We've got 10 seconds to go, guys. I've got 5 contracts. I've got my ATM strategy all lined up. And I'm going to see what the market gives us. And we're open, we're pulling back away. Oh no. Buy. Hopefully we'll reject off this, but if we go through it, what's going on here? 2 contracts. I don't know what I've just done. I've only got 2 in the market. It's a bit weird. So lots of contracts there. We're probably going to go down to 61 contracts. That's probably quite a bit of selling. Are we going to get through that little zone? So we've hit the extreme gap. That's the 64 contracts. There's a lot of selling there, I think, potentially. So I'm $2,000 down. That was a sort of a terrible play by me. Look, do I get long? I've hit the button. See if we can make a bit of a recovery. I've got 5 contracts in. See if we can sort of, oh, okay. Really need the market to push off this level. Look, if we do break below, I think we are heading towards this area. But if we can get a nice rejection here before we come down, that would be ideal. But I don't know if we're going to get it. So I've hit long. Look, the market could go either way. So, you know, it's probably not the smartest trade, to be honest. If we can get a nice sort of push up, tempted to just close that. That's probably cop some slippage there as well. I thought I was going to make a little bit. And there it goes. Look, okay, so I'm really not trading very smart right now. I'm hoping that we will reject off all this confluence here because we've filled that previous day's high. So the extreme gap, and I'm hoping the market will kind of pull away from this close gap and we'll fill it later in the trading session. So it's going to hopefully pull away, not actually go to target just yet. Really, I should be waiting. You know, if I was trading properly, I would wait. Exactly, yeah. So I'm not doing the right thing just right now, obviously. So don't try this at home. We're getting that reaction now, but I don't know if it'll hold. Ideally, my ATM strategy will pull me up, so I'm at break even. That would be ideal situation. I've got 5 contracts, so it might have to go all the way up to like 2.5 grand, I think. Love to just maybe move it. I'll move it manually because I don't want to take more risk. But if we can get a nice push up, that would be ideal. I think it's going to come all the way down, take me out. Very frustrating. It's back down at this level again. Had a bit of a reaction. Just trying to read what's actually going on. I think this could be the push down that we're after. Just need it to kind of accept below these levels. Now, if it keeps going from here, all right, yeah, I've hit sell. We might get a pullback here though, of course. I want it to basically continue down. We're probably going to pull back though. Yep. Surely not. Wow. Pulled all the way back up. Look, normally what happens is once we accept below this level, it just continues down. But the market's really just toying with me at the moment. So I'm going to hit it again. Hope for the best. Because ultimately, now that we're below this section, if it doesn't form a really powerful wick, then I think we should head down to this yearly R2. But, that's me predicting and not, I guess, reacting. It just looks and feels like it should go down. Most of the time when I see this activity, it does. But I'm really not reading the market very well at all. So just keep that in mind, obviously. If we can get a nice, see, it's really thin volume and there's a lot of selling coming in. So, well, not a lot, actually. There's not really enough to push it down too much. But if we can break below this wick again, I think we might be okay. So I'm in for 5 contracts short. I've taken about almost 4k euro of heat. And we need this market to basically continue lower. If this pulls right back, it's really just toying with everyone, I think. Because we're below the Bollinger Bands, we've got the targets down here, we've broken this structure, that was a wick. There we go, stops to break even. I'll just go over to the depth of market. So the ATM strategy has now pulled that into break even territory. The market's coming right back. This is unbelievable. It's just whipping around. This is almost impossible to trade. I'm down to 3 contracts. Wow. Unbelievable. That's ridiculous. It'll probably pull right back now and head towards that close gap, I would imagine. If it goes up from here, it's quite strange, you know, like we might kind of come up and reject, but what have we got? We've got some, okay, I'm going to hit sell again, just have another go. It's going up again. Crazy. Look, the market really should, like I've seen it time and time again where it just pulls down. I'm playing a bit more aggressively at the moment. Perhaps I shouldn't be, but you know, so many times I've seen it once it gets to this kind of appearance, thin volume here, but we've got this build up. So it looks like the market may be holding at this level, and it is. I'll hit buy. I'm sure it'll spin back the other way on me. But ultimately, like this kind of activity, the market really should go down to this close gap quite swiftly. It's generally what happens. I'm going to take some money out there, so 4,200. Yeah, really not trading well today. I'm sort of going a bit heavier, just I guess having a bit of fun with it, trying to read what's going on, because I really do think that this market is likely to come down and hit this close gap. Wow, it's just doing everything the opposite to what I'm thinking is going to happen though. And that happens sometimes, like this is just one of those days where I'm just not reading it well. Here it comes again. Crazy. If it doesn't reject off this, it's just playing like in the middle of nowhere. So it's just really tough to read. What are we sitting at? Almost maxed it all out. Look, and then we're about to bypass that. Look, if we don't get a turnaround to go short here, I'm not sure what's going on. Unbelievable. So it's really just cleaning up anybody that's trading around these levels. There's a lot of selling. All right, I've hit the button. So we'll see if that was our kind of point where they just wanted to wipe everyone out, and I've gotten back in to go short. But there's every chance the market will just ignore all logic and just continue higher. So we'll see what happens. If we can get a nice push off this structure, like the market's kind of taken out any stops, it shook out the market quite heavily. It's been up and down and up and down. And now if we can accept below these levels, we've got 3 seconds, we've got a new candle coming up. Hopefully we don't spike too hard and we just start to drop towards this close gap. We'll see what happens though. The market has been very unforgiving, so I'd imagine it's not going to continue lower, but you know, I'm going off the analysis that I said. We've accepted below this structure, so I'm going to hope that the market does push down. We can see the currency difference there, so 2.5K into 2,800. It's got a bit of building there. Hopefully this is the opposing candle direction. You know, people are getting in the opposite way and then it goes the other way because it's a new candle. That happens quite a bit. So we'll see if that accepts. We've got thin volume, all selling by the looks. Hopefully that remains. We've just got to get through all this structure here now, because this was all very thin volume. It looked great for a short, and then it all just came back up the other way. So look at that, it's starting to build again. Look, every time I close out of a trade early just to take some profit, it'll go straight to target. So I just don't want to do that. I want to actually ride the trade out and stick with it, but just the amount of times I get stopped out, and then finally when I actually say, right, I've got to take some profit here, it just does the exact opposite. It's so frustrating. The market's kind of teetering around. I've hit short again. There's 21 contracts there. Look, I don't know what's going on here, but this is probably going to be the end of it, of this account. Because we've got the structure here, we really should be heading south, but the market's really just toying with us. It's unbelievable. And it's really not advised, obviously. I've got a 300k account. It's a challenge. It's not advised that you trade like this. This is probably way too heavy for the account. So just be aware of that. Yeah, unreal, 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 unreal. All right, yeah, the account's done. And so we just hit 56 contracts up here, and it looks like selling to me, just above where I got stopped. It's really just whipping around. Very unusual activity for the DAX, like to kind of ignore a lot of these levels and just run over them over and over. Yeah, it's just sticking to this channel, but it's in the middle of nowhere as well. And look at that thin volume. There's just nobody up here. It just sort of seems like everyone thought it was going down and nobody's kind of getting in the way of this. Now look at that. Such thin volume. Something's going to, I think we're going to get a big ask order come in at some point, and that'll be our indication where it's like, okay, this is it. Look at this. That's such thin volume after this massive order there. So when you see a really big bid side order, just remember that often the market will just shoot up afterwards. I should have recognized that, because sometimes I think it's aggressive selling, but it could be like a buy limit. And often when you see it, like just big orders, it's either going to turn around or it's going to continue. But it's kind of like a signal of like something's happening here. There's some big players in the market. We're kind of rejecting here. We've hit the highs, but there's no real volume indication as to why it's moving. This is very it's very difficult to read, because there's no indication of like this being different to here or down here, for example. We're getting a bit more volume now, but I guess it's continuing up a bit higher. It's very, just cannot read what the market's trying to do. So it's broken low, faked out the close gaps, broken high now, and then kind of turned around to wipe everyone out. And we'll see if it continues higher again, but it's just, yeah, like you said, Christopher, it's really channeling here. Lots of volume in that, in this, yeah, 60. That was like the indication, right, this is going up. Whereas now we're getting some volume up here. It's a new candle, 11.11. Is that where we're going to now turn around, or are we perhaps buying still? So yeah, that was, look, 16. So there's the big ask order, but we're pushing through that. 50, there we go. That's our indication. That might have been an aggressive seller. But remember, on the flip side, it could just push straight through this very rapidly. It's just not really matching up to what normally happens on the DAX. So with that 50, if we get another one maybe up here, and we'll just keep powering on up, probably all the way up to the R2 and beyond. Just really big, like thin, and then massive volume. So the market's just a bit funny today. Yeah, yeah. I'd imagine it looks like a bit more selling piling up. See, like that 55 could have been very similar to this 60 down here, but it's kind of reacting different. So every volume indication that we're getting is just the opposite. So if we get another bid order up here, I think we're probably going to keep going up a little bit higher. Wow. It's near impossible to read this this price action. Like buying from here is just a very strange concept to me, because you've got all this activity down here. Yes, we've broken it again, we've gone lower, and then it turned around. This is just baiting traders in. I did not expect this kind of activity, excuse me. Very strange activity. Okay, so on the 1 hour candle, look, it looked like it was turning down too on the 1 hour, and it's just like, whoop, we're going the other way. 30 minutes, so we're still inside on the 30 minute for the upper band. Yeah, exactly. Well, for me, because of the close gap, I was really hesitant, because the market does generally like to fill that close gap. Once we accepted below this this structure here, I thought it was just game over, which usually happens, and often I don't get in because I'm like, oh, I don't want to get short. But today, look at this thin volume. There's just nobody in the way of it. It's like a massive soak up. And then once we get up here, if we do get all the way up to the R2, if we see a massive ask order, because it's been so bearish as well. Yeah, has been very bearish. We had an update there, but I was buying on Friday as well, and it didn't pan out. So look, just not my time at the moment for reading this market, unfortunately. It's kind of teetering around this R2. It's not really giving me any clear direction either way. And as well, it looked to me like it was going to go up for the long bias, and I bought, and then the market just whipped around and it ended up going down. So just very bad trading on my part, really. Just having a look at the order flow. Looks like a lot of selling coming in. Got a new candle. We'll see if we can change direction or if it will just keep going. But yeah, that's probably it from me. I was trying to, trying to go off the analysis, but it just, the market's being a bit funny today, so just not reading it. I'd be tempted to sell here, but there's every chance that the market will continue higher up to the R2. Always opportunities both ways. It's just, dependent on the stop size, how much risk you can take, and how long you want to ride the win for. So yeah, very unusual, very unusual. just watching these last few minutes just to see where it continues to go. Like, is this the high, or is it going to just pop up shortly? We're at the highs now. Just get another little power up, and then we'll be off to that higher target. But then based on how the market's been reacting, you know, there's every chance we'll kind of push down, go fake down, maybe sort of halfway of the candle, like 50% of this candle, and then continue up, just kind of throw everyone. That's the feel of this market. Anyway, not my best read. That happens. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for joining. And Christopher, best of luck with your trading, mate. I hope you go a bit better than I did tonight. Have a good one.